Hey guys, my name is Doug with Infotainment.com. Today we're working on the 2019 Ram 1500. This particular video is for 2019 and up. Today we're going to show you an awesome new upgrade we carry here at Infotainment. These are the mid-level LED headlamps. These are 100% factory for your Ram truck. We also include a plug-and-play kit, which I'll demonstrate on how to install. It really just makes the truck look so much better when you go from the base model halogen lights to the LED lights. On this particular truck, if you go to our YouTube channel, we do replacement tail lights. In this particular case, these are LED with built-in blind spot monitoring. We're also doing LED fog lights and then LED bed lights. So come check out our YouTube channel for those as well. But today I'm going to show you guys how to install these, how to take your old ones out, and how to put these new ones in. So let's get started. All right, the first thing we're going to do is disconnect the negative battery terminal. It's a little 10mm nut here. Just loosen it up and then pry it off. You can just tuck it away. Now what we did is we turned the steering wheel all the way to the right just to give us a little extra room to work in here. What we're going to do is we're going to take this little panel off. Now, in order to take it off, there is one bolt up here that you need to loosen up. So in order to gain access to it, you don't have to take off the entire fender liner, but you can take out 1, 2, 3, 4 8mm screws. There is a push pin back here that you can just pull out with a pry tool. Then you just peel the fender liner back just to give you access to that 10mm bolt. This now gives you access to the bolt, which is located right here. All right, now that we have the bolt out, we need to sneak in behind this panel here. I like to use like a little screwdriver, and you'll feel that there's a brace or bracket in there. We're gonna kind of stick it behind and wedge it in. And then it pops out. Basically what you're doing is you're trying to get across that little notch right there. So what we're doing is we're coming in, we're pressing this down to free it up from this little notch. But once you do that, you just kind of come around the headlight and slowly start prying it away. Now what you may notice, and this happens a lot, is you get one last little retaining piece. This is what it looks like up here. There's these little notches in it. You have to get in from behind to get this last little one down here. This is what I'm talking about here. You kind of have to reach in from behind and press this tab in this tab for it to slide out. So now we're going to repeat that exact process on the passenger side. All right, now we're gonna take off the upper part of the grill here. So we're gonna have 12 push pins. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use a little pry tool. You can use a flathead screwdriver, whatnot. Just come in here. Get the center part first. and then just pry it out. Just get all 12 of them. All right, now once you got all those 12 out, this just lifts right off. All right, now we have on the top part of the grill here, which comes all the way around above the headlight, we have 12 10mm bolts, and we have 2 more push pins. So we'll get the push pins first. These ones here are a little bit more tough than the other ones. So if you got to use a regular screwdriver, you can. I bought this little tool on Amazon. Works pretty well for taking out push pins. Now all the screws and the 2 push pins are removed, we can set this aside. All right, now to remove the actual grill, we're gonna have 4 screws, all 10mm, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on the lower sides, we're gonna have 3 10mm, and then 3 10mm on the other side. Now do remember that this one and this one are the longer ones, so set these aside as well. This is a shorter one. All right, now that those screws are removed, we can go ahead and just pull our panel up. And it comes right out. All right, now to remove our headlight, we're gonna remove this 10mm screw here, and then there's one up here. And then one last push pin up here. Now we can pull the assembly out. Down here is gonna be one connector. Just push the pin in on the bottom, and this just unplugs. And the same thing with this connector over here. On the bottom there's a little pin or a clip. Push the clip in and pull it away. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing on the passenger side. All right, we're gonna start here on the driver's side. This is our very first prototype harness here, our kit. Basically what we're gonna do is we're going to zip tie this to this support right here. So if you kind of come back around here, you find a nice flat spot and use a zip tie. You could just zip tie this right onto the support, and that'll keep it out of the way and keep it looking good. So right there will do. I just zip tied it here. I'll cut off the excess. You can use 2 if you want, but that gives it a nice tight fit right there along that support. All right, I just want to review the connectors here. So this is your factory headlight connector. You can use some dielectric compound, put it around the perimeter of it, and then connect it to our plug and play harness. You'll hear it clip into place. You could set that aside. This will be the new plug that's going to plug into our new LED headlights. This little plug back here is no longer used, so we'll tuck that away. So that really leaves us with these 2 connectors here. This is going to plug into the new headlight, like I mentioned. This little one here is going to plug into our loom. Now, what you'll notice with our loom is one end runs to the other side of the truck, and then one end plugs in here, and I'll demonstrate. Use, again, some of that dielectric compound. For the purpose of this video, I'm just not going to use it here. But you'll notice the long part of the loom. This is the one we're going to run over to the other side of the truck. These two connectors are going to go to our power distribution panel here. So let's demonstrate that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the top of our fuse box off, set it aside. You're going to notice some power points here. We're gonna look for one that's not occupied by a wiring harness. In this particular case, sometimes it's the first one here, sometimes it's this one, but we're just going to take a 10mm driver, pull this up, and we're going to stick the one on there. And then this little fuse jumper is going to be installed right here. So you can pull this out right here. I believe it's the F35. Pull it out. And in the exact location, we're going to plug this in. You'll see it fits in nice and snug and perfect. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to get a 10mm socket and pull up this point right here. So this particular one, as I mentioned, can go on any of these. It just seems to work well in this particular truck right here because it's not occupied by other wiring. So now that that's in, we can kind of zip tie this little cable together, kind of tuck it back so it's nice and neat. This one, again, make sure you're in the right one. I believe it was F35, and it's nice and snug in there. The fuses are in, and then we'll route the cable and put our cover back on. All right, so what I did with the wiring, I just kind of came around here, kind of just tucked it back in, and then had it sneak out over here. When you put the cover over it, it shouldn't even pinch it. So, and then, you know, like I said, the excess wire, you can always zip tie, kind of make it look pretty like that. All right, what I did is I ran basically this wire along the core support. So I came up here, I zip tied it to the hood latch line. And then I came down here to the horn line, just zip tied it there, followed along the core support, put one here. I went above the Freon lines here, or the cooler lines, kind of tucked it back, came down in here, and then zip tied it to the headlight harness that's down here. Now there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just the way that I did it. So feel free to get it over there as however you desire, just as long as you get it over to this side. And this is where it terminates to. So now we're basically going to do the exact same thing we did on the other side, but on the passenger side. So we're going to go ahead and zip tie this to the support. You could use 1, 2, 4, however many you want. Seems to work pretty well with just one for me. Make sure it's nice and tight up along that support. And then trim it. All right, now we have our wiring. Again, we're gonna plug our factory headlight harness into the adapter here. You'll hear it snap into place. Tuck this behind. This is the cable that we ran from the driver's side. It's going to plug in here and tuck that behind. Again, this wiring here is not used, the little 2-pin. So we could actually zip tie that back and go ahead and plug in our new headlights. All right, we're ready to install our new headlights. Make sure whenever you buy this kit from us on Infotainment.com that you give us your VIN number so we can make sure you get the proper headlights. There are many to choose from, some will not work. So again, be sure to give us your VIN number, but here's the new headlight here. We opted for the one with the silver inside bezel or shroud. We also sell the ones with the inside black. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and plug it in. Here's our connector right down here. Push our clip in. And it fits into the exact same location. I'm going to put our screws back in here on the top and the side. When you're putting it in, make sure you put it behind this little metal piece right here. That'll make it a little easier for you. Now we're going to go ahead and put our negative battery terminal on. We went ahead and just hand tightened the screws just to hold the headlights in place. We just want to make sure everything's wired and working well before we put the truck back together. All right, we went ahead and tested the lights, the high beams, the regular low beam, the hazards, everything, and it works awesome. So now I'm comfortable. We're gonna go ahead and put the rest of the front end back together, just the way we took it apart. You'll notice the top of the grill kind of goes down over the headlight bracket, kind of keeps it in place. So now we can go ahead and install our screws. Remember, the long screws are going to go here and here, and this will be the shorter one over here. Go ahead and install our 4 screws on top. And then our 3 screws on the passenger side. Remember, on the sides it goes underneath the grill, or I'm sorry, the fender rather, and it slides right in. So now you could take those 2 push pins and 12 bolts and screw in the top part of the grill. Now we can go ahead and put our cover on. as well as all of our push pins. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and put our cover on. So you're gonna kind of feed it in. You'll hear them kind of snap into place. Kind of tuck it around the headlight first. And you'll hear it snap into place around the perimeter. Now we can put our 10mm bolt, which goes in through here, and reinstall our fender liner. All right, that completes our install, so I'm just gonna wipe it down a little bit. Make sure everything looks real nice. We did do a test before, so we know it works. So let's take it outside and take a look. You notice with the lights on, you still have the lower and the upper signature lighting, and then you have the LED low beam on. I have the high beams, the low beams, and the turn signal on. So you see all the things that are going on. Just an awesome, awesome upgrade here for the 2019 and up Ram truck. We do this upgrade and so much more at Infotainment.com. Not only the front headlights, but also the tail lights, the LED version, which looks really cool. Furthermore, the fog lamps, you can go from the halogen to the LED. And then another video we show you how to install the LED bed lights. So you're really surrounding the outside of the vehicle with the latest technology. On the inside of the vehicle, we do so much more. We do the digital cluster upgrade, so you can go from the base model to the full digital cluster. We do every single factory radio upgrade that Ram offers, whether it's this radio here with just satellite radio, or you can go to the 8.4-inch UAM option code, which includes Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The UAV option code, which includes Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and built-in navigation. Then, of course, the awesome upgrade, the 12-inch, which includes everything. That's a cool upgrade. Other things we do power folding mirrors. We do blind spot monitoring using all factory parts engineered right here by Infotainment.com. What about cat skin leather seating? We do that as well. We also show you guys how to install it. Come over to our website, Infotainment.com, and check us out.